Today we are looking for the rarest Marvel Atlas comics of the late 1950s. These are all code-issued comics from 1955 to 59. These comics have been selected because they have 0 copies on the CGC census. Absolutely no copies, any grade. And in 25 years of grading CGC, it's unbelievable we don't have a single copy graded. That has happened for 2 reasons. First of all, these books are so extremely rare that there are just almost no copies to get graded. But secondly, because these books never turn up in high grade, usually only mid to low grade copies do not guide very high, usually in the $50 range on average. And so most people have not graded their low grade copies. We're going to look at 126 comics I discovered going through every comic that Marvel Atlas published in the late 50s. We're going to do them alphabetically. Adventures of Big Boy #1. There was a West and an East version of each issue of this series. I'm going to show you one of each cover. And #1 from 1956 has Bill Everett art. Adventures of Big Boy #2, Bill Everett art. And this is based on the Big Boy character from the popular American franchise. Adventures of the Big Boy #7. Adventures of the Big Boy #8. Adventures of the Big Boy #9. Adventures of the Big Boy #10. Adventures of the Big Boy #11. Adventures of the Big Boy #12. Now, interestingly, CGC has a copy of issue 15 graded, though that book I can't even verify exists. I can't find a photo, and I also cannot find a photo or listing of issues 13 or 14, but they are not on the census either. Annie Oakley #9, Western title, Carl Burgos art. Apache Kid #18, Carl Burgos art. Battle Action 26, war title, John Severin art. Battle Action 28, John Severin art. Battlefront 38, Sid Shores art. Battlefront 40, John Severin art. Battleground #7, Russ Heath art. Battleground #9, Joe Manili art. Battleground 20, John Severin art. Billy Buckskin Western #2, Carl Burgos. And you can see the big Comics Code Authority stamp on all of these books. Caught #3, John Severin art. Combat Casey #25, Joe Manili art. Combat Casey 27, Carl Burgos art. Combat Casey 30, Russ Heath art. Combat Casey 31, John Severin art. Cowboy Action #7, Russ Heath art on this Western. Cowboy Action #8, Russ Heath art. Cowboy Action #10, John Severin art. Cowboy Action 11, Joe Manili art. Frontier Western 6, John Severin art. Gunsmoke Western 38, Carl Burgos art. Gunsmoke Western 45, Joe Manili art. Homer the Happy Ghost #4, the original series, Dan DeCarlo art. Homer the Happy Ghost #5, Dan DeCarlo art. Homer the Happy Ghost #8, Dan DeCarlo art, likely. Homer the Happy Ghost #16, Dan DeCarlo art. Homer the Happy Ghost 18, Dan DeCarlo art. Homer the Happy Ghost 19, Dan DeCarlo art. Homer the Happy Ghost 22, Dan DeCarlo art. And keep in mind that some of these titles would have kept going, but they were canceled in late 1957 due to the Atlas implosion, and they had to cut back drastically the number of titles they published per month. Kid Slate Gunfighter #8, John Severin art on this Western. Love Romances 58, Vince Colletta art. Love Romances 59, Vince Colletta art. Lovers 82, Vince Colletta art. Marines in Battle 15, John Severin art. Marines in Battle 16, Carl Burgos art. Matt Slade Gunfighter #3, John Severin art. Matt Slade Gunfighter #4, Joe Manili art. Meet Miss Bliss #2, Al Hartley art. Melvin the Monster #2, Joe Manili art. Melvin the Monster #4, Joe Manili art. Melvin the Monster #6, Joe Manili art. Miss America 71, Morris Weiss art. Miss America 72, Morris Weiss art. Notice that Patsy Walker is the star of this title. Miss America 73, Morris Weiss art. This one also features Patsy Walker, Buzz Baxter, Mickey, Hetty Wolf, and Ed Begelborf as the characters. Miss America 77, Morris Weiss art. Miss America 78, Morris Weiss is likely the artist. Miss America 79, Morris Weiss art. Miss America 80, likely Morris Weiss art. Miss America 87, Al Hartley art. Miss America 91, Al Hartley art. Miss America 92, Al Hartley art. Miss America 93, Al Hartley art. My Girl Pearl, number 5, Dan DeCarlo art. My Girl Pearl, number 10, Stan Goldberg art, inks by Saul Brodsky. My Girl Pearl, number 11, Stan Goldberg art, inks by Saul Brodsky. My Love Story, number 2, Tom Sawyer art. My Love Story, number 7, Vince Coletta art. My Love Story, number 9, Vince Coletta art. My Own Romance, 51, Vince Coletta art. My Own Romance, 53, Vince Coletta art. My Own Romance, 61, Vince Coletta art. My Own Romance, 63, Vince Coletta art. My Own Romance, 66, Vince Coletta art. Navy Action, 18, Saul Brodsky art. Navy Combat number 4, Sid Shores art. Navy Combat 15, Bill Everett art. Navy Combat 16, Bill Everett art. Patsy and Hetty 34, Al Jaffe artwork. This features Patsy Walker, Hetty Wolf, Buzz Baxter, and Hetty's date. Keep in mind, Patsy Walker, the best-selling character for all of Marvel and Atlas in the 50s. She has a number of titles running at the same time. Patsy and Hetty 36, Al Jaffe art. Patsy and Hetty 37, Al Jaffe art. Patsy and Hetty 39, Al Jaffe art. Patsy and Hetty 40, Al Jaffe art. Patsy and Hetty 48, Al Hartley art. Patsy and Hetty 54, Al Hartley art. Patsy and Hetty 55, Al Hartley art. Patsy and Hetty 60, Al Hartley art. Patsy and Hetty 62, Al Hartley art. Patsy and Hetty 67, Al Hartley art. Patsy and Her Pals 14, Morris Weiss art, another Patsy Walker title. Also, this one features Buzz Baxter and Hetty Wolf. Patsy and Her Pals 18, Morris Weiss art. Patsy and Her Pals 20, Morris Weiss art. Patsy and Her Pals 21, Morris Weiss art. Patsy and Her Pals 23, Morris Weiss art. Patsy and Her Pals 24, Bill Everett art. Patsy and Her Pals 25, Al Hartley art. Patsy Walker 59, Al Jaffe art. And notice this is her main title, also published at this time. Patsy Walker 63, Al Jaffe art. Patsy Walker 64, Morris Weiss art. Patsy Walker 68, Al Hartley art. Patsy Walker 77, Al Hartley art. Patsy Walker 79, Al Hartley art. Patsy Walker 80, Al Hartley art. Patsy Walker 81, Al Hartley art. Patsy Walker 83, Al Hartley art. Patsy Walker 84, Al Hartley art. Patsy Walker 86, Al Hartley art. Police Badge 479, issue number 5, but this is actually issue number 1. This is the only number 1 issue that has no copies graded in the late 50s from Atlas. Quick Trigger Western 19, John Severin art. Ringo Kid 21, Joe Manley art. Stories of Romance 8, likely Vince Coletta art. Tales of Justice 59, Saul Brodsky art. Tales of Justice 61, John Severin art. Tales of Justice 65, John Severin art. True Secrets 34, Vince Coletta art. True Secrets 37, Vince Coletta art. True Secrets 38, Vince Coletta art. True Tales of Love 24, likely Vince Coletta art. Two Gun Kid 42, Joe Manley art. Two Gun Kid 44, Joe Manley art. Western Gunfighters 26, Fred Kaida art. And also notice that Stan Lee is the editor of most of these comics. Western Kid number 5, Joe Manley art. Western Kid 11, John Severin art. Western Kid 15, Joe Manley art. Western Outlaws number 9, Joe Manley art. Western Outlaws number 10, Joe Manley art. Western Outlaws number 20, John Severin art. Wild Western 49, Joe Manley art. Wyatt Earp 13, John Severin art. And there you go, 126 different comics with not a single copy ever graded by CGC. 0 copies, any condition. These are all late 50s Atlas Comics, later to be known as Marvel. They all have the big Comics Code Authority stamp on these books. These are all extremely rare in all conditions. And remember, if you want to go find one of these, send it in to CGC. You can have the only copy graded and brag that you have the best copy in the world.